everyone. Today we have a really great treat. This is going to be your favorite vegetable to can. It is candied jalapeños, aka Cowboy candy. This is great on crackers and cream cheese. I like to use it with nachos, burritos. They're also good on burgers, brats, hot dogs, anything that you would use a relish on, they'd be wonderful. You can use it in egg salad, chicken salad, tuna salad, anything you would like a little spice to. These candied jalapeños are sweet and spicy and they have a tang, and the longer they sit, the better they get. Once you've canned these up, you're gonna want them to sit on the shelf probably for at least a month, and that lets the flavors kind of meld a little bit. You can adjust your spices if you want to, as long as you keep on using the vinegar. You must use the apple cider vinegar to make this safe. Jalapeños are a low acid vegetable, so we have to pressure can these. You have to have a pressure can. You cannot water bath these. They have to get up to a certain temperature inside in order to make them safe, even though they're made with vinegar. So if you would like to, any of the spices that come in this recipe, you can eliminate or you can adjust up or down depending on what you like. The recipe I'm using comes from the complete guide to pressure canning right here, and it is on page 52. So this is your recipe, candied jalapeños. So are you ready? Let's get going. Come with me. Let's go in the kitchen and get this started. If you really like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and we'll have a lot more videos coming up. The garden is getting ready to go in for fall, so we're going to be getting ready to set that up, and I'll show you how to get that all set up. We're also going to do a little tour of the pepper bed. I have one bed that is all different types of peppers, and that's where the jalapeños are coming from. They're called Grande jalapeños, and you can get them from Rare Seeds. And they get really nice and big. They're not the little tiny ones. So they get 5-6 inches, and they come in the fall in the desert. So you're gonna get them probably from September, October, November. You're gonna see a lot of them on the plants. So let me get going and let's get this started. Here's all of the pepper plants in all their glory. This whole bed is full of different varieties of peppers. All the ones over here. They're just everywhere. Looking down the length of the bed, you can see all the beautiful peppers in here. They're just everywhere. Nice little pepper right there. A bunch of bell peppers coming in. So let's begin. We want to start with getting our jars on the stove. You got to sterilize these for 10 minutes so we can have them sterilizing while we are working on the stuff that's going in the jars. So get them boiling. These are called Grande jalapeños. I get these from Rare Seeds. They come in pretty strong during the fall. You get a little bit during the summer, but the fall they really start to explode and you get a bunch of them. So I have about 5 pounds, but I'm only going to use 4 pounds for this recipe because I want to be able to dehydrate 1 pound too, so I can have jalapeno powder for spices. Yum. Alright, so you're going to want to make sure you have gloves on because these peppers are really, really hot. And make sure you don't touch your face or anything because you're going to be hating life if you do. So what I'm going to do is just cut the tops off of these and stick them right in my Bosch mixer here. I have a slicer attachment onto it so it slices for me. Really easy just to slice these up instead of having to stand here and slice them. So Actually, I want to take this one off. You can see inside. And you can see, ooh, it is hot. All right, I'm gonna get these all sliced up and then we'll start the recipe. So for this recipe, you're gonna want 4 pounds of fresh jalapeños. You can slice them, you can dice them, however you like them. That's how I kind of did a slice and then run a knife through them to chop them up just a little bit. You need 8 cups of sugar. That seems like a lot of sugar, but you're only using a little bit at a time when you eat these. And then you need 3 cups of apple cider vinegar, 1/2 cup of mustard seeds. I'm using these black mustard seeds. And then 1/4 cup of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of celery seed, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I have all those in there. And so let's get started. So we're going to start by putting everything in the pot except for the jalapeno peppers. And we're going to bring it to a boil and boil it for 5 minutes. And then we add the jalapeno peppers and we're going to boil it for another 5 minutes. So I'll just put everything in the pot here. Sugar. Alright. There we go. I'm going to bring this up to a boil and bring it back. So it's getting ready to come up to a boil. I did take some of the black mustard seed and exchange them out for yellow mustard seed because I thought it was just going to be too spicy. Jalapenos are spicy to begin with, and so is black mustard seed. So I did like half and half black and half yellow. But you can also do just yellow if you want to have it to be a little milder. But it's getting ready to come up to a boil. I'm going to boil it for 5 minutes. There it goes. Alright, we've got about 1 minute left on simmering the sauce. It is really good. It's kind of already spicy. It's got the spicy mustard in there and cayenne and turmeric. It tastes really good. It's nice and spicy and yet sweet. So when you get the jalapenos on there, it's going to have a really good kick. But 24 minutes or 24 seconds left. This is going to be really good. I love to have this on sandwiches or with cheeses. You know, you put on a cheese tray over the holidays. Oh, yum. It's really good. But if you don't like spicy stuff, you probably won't like this because it is pretty darn spicy. Make sure you have some milk or something on the side. All right, 5 minutes is up. Let's add the jalapenos. Mix this up, bring it back up to a boil, and boil it for another 5 minutes. And then we'll be able to start putting it in the jars. Doesn't it look pretty? Oh, yummy. I love having this on the shelf. It's even great for when we have nachos and tacos and burritos. It tastes really good. Gives everything that you want to eat a nice little sweet and spicy kick. There we go. Bring this up to a boil and I'll bring you back. Alright, I boiled these for almost 5 minutes. I got like 20 seconds left here. So they will be ready to go. Ooh, got too much steam. It's really, really hot. So, there we go. Time's up. Let's get these in the jar so we can get them in the pressure canner. Okay, I got nice hot sterilized jars. They're all ready to go. We're going to start canning this up. Slotted spoon. You want to, the recipe says it makes 16 jars. So you're going to use a slotted spoon and put the peppers into the jar and leave a 1-inch headspace. That is too much. Take some of that out. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to fill all these up. Once these are all filled up with the peppers, you have to boil the juice another 5 minutes, and you're going to put them into the jars too. Put the juice into the jars. And if you have any leftover juice, you can jar that up too, because it works great on like deviled eggs or, you know, potato salad or anything like that, or just to make something a little bit spicy. You want to put that in a roast and do that too. All right, I'm going to fill all these jars up. I actually got like 12 jars of peppers out of that. And now I'm going to reboil this. It says to boil it for 5 minutes and then put the sauce over the top of the peppers. And then you have to load it up into the pressure canner. So I got these all ready to go. And I got a couple extra jars. So I'm just going to go ahead and use those to put the juice in. So hopefully I fill all the jars. We'll see. But I got this boiling. I'll get it 5 minutes and I'll bring you back. Alright, so our liquid has boiled for 5 minutes. It's time to start filling them up. You're going to leave a 1-inch headspace, which you always use for pressure canning. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all these up with the 1-inch headspace. You will love these. They taste so good. They're so spicy, and yet they have a sweetness to them. It's amazing. You're going to have to make sure and debubble these too before you put them in the pressure canner. And adjust your headspace if necessary. Oh, yum. I'm not really too worried about the headspace at first. I'm going to go ahead and just get them all full and then debubble them and then adjust as necessary. And that one needs a little more right there. Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm going to have any extra sauce left. This is going to be pretty close. Guess I'll just have to, when I get done eating my peppers, I'll have to use the liquid inside of it for deviled eggs or a roast. It's a really good marinade too if you want to marinate chicken or roast beef. Makes a great marinade. I didn't want to put that in there. Oops, that one doesn't have any peppers in it. Okay. So you can see how fast this goes. It goes really quick. Alright, go ahead and debubble. Use my handy dandy chopstick. That one looks pretty good. That one needs a little more. That's better. That one looks like it's got too much. Take some of that out and put it over there. You want to make sure you got that 1-inch headspace, which is that bottom line when you're looking at your rings. Because if it goes up too high, it will boil over and your products won't seal. and that is not good either. So always make sure to adjust for headspace if necessary. This one's got too much. You can see headspace is your very bottom line right there. That's where you want it at. That's your 1-inch headspace. I have this on a tray with Teflon on it. It's one of these little coated Teflon ones. Underneath it I got a towel so it won't get hot on my countertop and crack the jars or crack my countertop. Okay, so I've got these all debubbled. Add some more juice to some of these. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take this extra and just put it in an empty jar. Then I have it for a marinade for whenever I want to use it for a marinade. So it looks like I'll have at least 2 jars of marinade. That works. That's it. You're all done. Okay. Get these out of the way. Now I want to make sure that you clean your rims really good. That one overflowed right there. So when you put your lids and rings on, you want to make sure you get a good seal. In order to do that, you got to clean the top off really good. And this is kind of sticky too, so it kind of sticks. There we go. If you have a jar that doesn't seal, just stick it in the fridge. It'll last for about 3 months. But you want to kind of let these sit for about a month for all the flavors to meld. So it gives it a good flavor. There you go. That's what it looks like. It looks almost like a salsa when it's done. Alright, so I got all the juice in and I cleaned my rims. You got to make sure you wipe these down really good so you get all the stuff off of it. And this is what it looks like. You got a 1-inch headspace, and now I'm going to start loading them up into the canner. It has to go into a pressure canner. I did get 2 extra jars of the juice, so I'm going to use that for a marinade. Makes a great marinade. But that would be the marinade. Isn't that great? Into the canner. I'm going to load these in the canner and I'll bring you back. So one thing that's nice about pressure canning is you can stack your jars. You can't do it with water bath canning, but you can do it with pressure canning. And I can put 2 layers of jars. And I just happen to have 4 extra jars that I needed to put in there. So there we go. There's all loaded up. One goes to the top. I'm going to lock this up. I'm going to vent it for 10 minutes. While the pressure canner is coming up to pressure, This is what I did with my extra peppers. I stick them on a dehydrator. I use the Harvest Right and I put it outside. I do all my onions and garlic and peppers outside because they can get pretty stinky and make your eyes water. So I just did a few of them, and then I can use them in soups or stews, or I can grind them up into a powder for jalapeno powder and use them for different spice blends. But this really comes in handy. And these seeds, you can always take the seeds and use them for replanting for next year because they're already dried out. So I'm going to stick this out on the porch and I'm going to let it go until this is nice and dry and crispy. Probably about, I don't know, 8 to 12 hours depending on it. I'll see how long it takes. My pressure canner is starting to vent, so I set my timer for 10 minutes. I'll bring you back in 10 minutes and we'll put the weight on it and bring it up to pressure. So it's vented for 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and put our weight on. And we're going to bring this up to 6 pounds because this is a dial gauge, 5 pounds for a weighted gauge. And we're going to pressure can this once it's up to weight for 10 minutes. So I'm going to bring this up and then I'll start the timer for 10 minutes. Alright, my time is up. I've had this going for 10 minutes. So I'm going to turn the burner off and I'm going to let it cool down so it's all the way down to 0. And you see this little gadget here? That has to pop down, and that lets me know that the pressure inside the canner is gone. And this is a Presto. So if you're using a Presto, that is how you know, because this little thing here drops down. So let me go ahead and let this cool down. It'll be an hour or two. We'll see how long it takes. Well, it's come down to 0 pressure, and you can see this little thing here has popped down. So that tells me there's no pressure in there. I took the weight off. Now what I'm going to do is just open it up, and I'm going to let the steam vent for about 5-10 minutes so that it doesn't bring the fluid out of the jars. If you open it up and it cools down too fast, you'll cause a suction and it'll bring all your juice out of those jars. So you want to cool it down really nice and slow by just letting the steam come out. And then I'll take the cover off and let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then I'll take the jars out. Alright, they're all cooled down. They're still pretty hot in there, but maybe we'll take it out of the canner. You can see what they look like. So, I'm going to take these all out of the canner. I'm going to let them sit for 24 hours. Make sure they've all sealed. And then I will remove the rims, wash the jars so they're nice and clean. And once the jars are nice and clean, I will put them on the shelf. As you can see, they're already pinging down, sealing up. That's great. I'm really happy. Well, they're all out of the canner, all 12 jars. And then I have 2 jars of just the liquid that I can use for marinade whenever I want to make chicken or something spicy. You can put the marinade wings, chicken wings in there. That'd be really good. And this is what the Cowboy jalapeños look like. Don't they look great? They're nice and sweet and spicy. They'll be great with cream cheese on a cracker. Putting in burritos, enchiladas, tacos, you name it. Nachos is my favorite. I love to make them with nachos. So, I hope you liked today's video. I hope you give this a try. You'll really like it. They're really addictive. Let me tell you, when you start eating them, you can't stop. Alright everyone, happy canning!